There was a time this fall where I honestly felt as if I would never need to update my skincare routine for the coming winter. It was so warm and sunny right into mid-November. It was easy to forget that the cold was right around the corner. Well, that has changed now, and looking out of the window, all I see is grey and rain. The heating is on and my constant need for lip balm tells me that the air inside is sucked dry. Time to go through my skincare baskets and rotate in my winter products. The rich creams, the hydrating cleansers, and maybe even a face oil. So here is my morning and my evening basket. Let's empty them and see what gets replaced. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Dr. Anne, a physician passionate about skincare and well-aging. I am of course widely generalizing here, but the issues most people face during the winter is dehydration and irritation alongside dry patches and maybe even eczema. I'll touch on all of them briefly, starting with the dehydration. Dehydration occurs if the skin either doesn't get enough water from the environment, maybe due to dry air and central heating, or can't hold on to that water because the skin barrier is compromised, something that also often happens in cold and windy climates. Most of the time it's a combination of both and can be addressed by using a humidifier and by using appropriate skincare products that offer humectants, emollient and occlusives, while at the same time not stripping the skin from its natural lipids. Irritation is again a sign of an impaired barrier function. If potential allergens can reach the deeper layers of the skin, this triggers an inflammatory reaction and often presents itself as tight, itchy or flaky skin. Again, you can strengthen the skin barrier with replenishing products while at the same time reducing the irritation you cause yourself by over-cleansing or using too many actives. Dry patches, flaky skin or even eczema already have a dedicated video here, so after sharing these general tips, let's take a look at what that means for me. The first thing to go is my morning cleanse. All through winter and well into spring, I do not use a separate cleansing product in the mornings, but instead get a little water on the cloth to get rid of the sleep in my eyes and occasionally the little dried up drool in the corners of my mouth. What is also drastically reduced is my exfoliation. I will keep my Paula's Choice Skin Perfecting 2% BHA liquid exfoliate in for 1 to 2 times a week and switch to the Inkey List PHA toner for everyday use. That might sound counterintuitive, but to me this is less of an exfoliant but instead a very hydrating formula with added niacinamide and glycerin that works well during the cold. My vitamin C serum, the Geek Gorgeous Sea Glow, stays in year round, as does my eye cream, the Inkey List Caffeine Eye Cream. Depending on my sunscreen of choice, I sometimes use a separate light moisturizer for an extra layer of hydration, so the Geek Gorgeous Hydration Station is going in the basket. This one is new to me, but works well with any sunscreen I've paired it with so far, probably due to the fact that it is free of silicones, which makes it less prone to pilling. And then sunscreens. I wear them year round every day, it is just part of my habits. I will continue with the office sunscreens, of which I have a variety, my favorite still being the Beauty of Joseon Relief Sunrise Plus Probiotics one. I do also like the Skin 1004 Madagascar Centella Hyaluronic Water Fit Sun Serum. I did a sponsored video on this one a while ago, but this is not part of the sponsorship. I just really like it. And the Thank You Pharma Sun Project Skin Relief Sun Cream SPF 50, both of which have additional soothing ingredients and are very hydrating. Some subtle changes, mainly aimed at preventing irritation, so I can keep up my actives at night. Now is the time I quit double cleansing at night. Obviously not always. If I have worked out in a full face of makeup or just feel particularly gross, I will cleanse twice, but for the majority of nights, one cleanse with the cleansing balm will do it for me. The trick is to get one that rinses clean without leaving a residue, and I have 2 options for you. The Halomet High Efficiency Face Cleaner, which is sadly discontinued, and the Inkey List Oat Cleansing Balm. The latter contains colloidal oatmeal, which is great at soothing the skin, and the way I use it, I've had questions about that, is that I mix it with a little water and pre-emulsify before I apply to my face. That way there is no graininess that seems to bother some people, but it is still as effective in getting rid of everything I have on my face. If I do a second cleanse, I'll use something hydrating like the Inkey List Hyaluronic Acid Cleanser. For the tretinoin nights, which I'm able to keep up every other night, but which could be reduced if your skin can't handle your usual frequency once the cold sets in, it is a niacinamide serum Currently the Geek Gorgeous Bee Bomb, and then a thick cream as buffer before the tretinoin. I like the Geek Gorgeous Happier Barrier for that, and as it contains niacinamide in the formula, you'd be able to save the serum step. On non-tretinoin nights after cleansing, I use the Geek Gorgeous Liquid Hydration Toner with 5% panthenol for extra hydration and soothing. I follow up with my greatest indulgences, the Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair Serum, and then the Night Copper Amino Isolate Serum 3. After that, it is again a thicker moisturizer, either the 107 Beauty Everyday Plump Hydro Cream or the Biossance Squalane Plus Omega Repair Cream. As I'm prone to eyelid eczema in winter, I skip the retinol eye cream for now and instead reach for a thicker one, currently the Biossance Squalane Plus Marine Algae Cream, which is rich but not greasy. Again, no major changes, just a few little tweaks in my routine that is built around tretinoin. Winter brings a few extra challenges for me, so I do have an SOS basket on the side. In this one you will find a face oil to make my moisturizers even richer should it get really cold. My current one is the Biossance Squalane Plus Vitamin C face oil, but to be honest, mostly because I have it open for testing already, I'm not particularly into any specific face oil at the moment. The next one is a German classic, the Linola Fett Cream, which translates to fat cream, and that sums it up perfectly. It is a thick layer of fatty lipids that feels greasy as hell and never sinks in, but is just the best if you have dry flaky skin. When my skin freaks out, I put on a layer before bed and all is well by morning. It is just a nightmare in texture and elegance. And a winter staple as well, my Nuxe Revdemir lip balm to keep my lips soft and to prevent cheilitis angularis, the cracked bleeding corners of the mouth. Thick layer before bed helps me prevent that, and the thicker texture makes sure it stays on overnight. I have a video on that, which I will link up here. Over to you. What do you add in or rotate out now the cold is here? Tell me in the comments below. I will link to more videos you might find interesting on the screen, and add links to my Instagram blog and Patreon account in the description box. See you soon. Bye!